From the American and Asian continents, this is an emergency broadcast from Telemundo. After failed negotiations between the United States and the USSR, the US has decided to impose a naval blockade to the island, meaning that no ships can enter or leave the island. These actions follow a tense day of discussions after the New York Times published a story about 3 cargo ships the Soviet Union sent to their Cuban and other allies around the world. The original story started that the ship's cargo included more military support. However, the Soviet cabinet made a public statement insisting that the shipment was routine humanitarian aid. After failed negotiations between the United States and the USSR, the US has decided to impose a naval blockade to the island, meaning that no ships can enter or leave the island. These actions follow a tense day of discussions after the New York Times published a story about 3 cargo ships the Soviet Union sent to their Cuban and other allies around the world. The original story stated that the ship's cargo included more military support. However, the Soviet cabinet made a public statement insisting that the shipment was a routine humanitarian aid, that the story was propaganda perpetrated by the capitalist Americans, and that an interference to its delivery was a human rights violation. However, amidst uncertainty, the US proceeded with this blockage. What makes the situation worse is that the Soviet cargo ships are still on the Cuban island, and no one knows whether they'll be able to leave the island or what would happen if they try to do so. The attack to one ship from either side can represent a declaration of war from the other, so the cabinets must lower the level of tensions and agree to something that can prevent what seems to be an imminent war. And things are not better between the Chinese and the Indians. China has invaded disputed territories, and currently 10,000 Indians have lost their lives at the hands of the Chinese. The Chinese report 300 casualties so far, but some believe that the number is much larger. The Indian population is not happy with how the government has managed the situation. Rumors of massive revolt in New Delhi, Bangalore, and Mumbai now put extra pressure on the government. The leader of the Indian government had this share.
We are a pacifist nation, always have and always will. We were born out of peace and we will stand by these principles. However, this does not mean we're not going to protect our land from foreign aggressions. We fought peacefully for our independence and have been struggling to make our neighbors respect our sovereignty. We have been responding to General Mao's aggression. The use of force will always be our last resort, but we won't sit back and watch our sovereignty being threatened. Indian people, we will not let you down.
On the other side, China's morale is at an all-time high. However, experts suspect that the economic and human capital losses will take its toll eventually, making this invasion unsustainable. International affairs experts have shared that if China doesn't find any allies soon that are willing to support them in these extreme measures, their success will be endangered. They know they can't lose this battle because they have a reputation to build and an international level want to gain a seat at the Security Council. On an exclusive interview for Telemundo, Leader Mao had this share regarding the situation.
Ni hao, comrades. As the world keeps moving deeper into a Cold War between the Soviets and the Americans, the world has forgotten about the next superpowers. We have been trying to maintain peace in Asia after the end of the Great War. The frontiers that the imperialists lived ended in confrontation and war. We will not accept this anymore. President Nehru believes in confrontation instead of peace. We have sent several troops all over the Himalayan borders to rescue what is rightfully ours. We hope President Nehru and his cabinet reconsider his position in the last negotiations in order to avoid further conflict. We will keep our citizens safe. We will maintain peace in our borders at any means necessary. People of China, we hear you and we care for you. Xie xie.
Meanwhile, the Security Council has convened an emergency meeting as tensions rise on all fronts. They have to reach a settlement that all parties will respect and play a lead peacekeeping role in the Cuban Missile Crisis. They will know that an attack on any actor can easily escalate into a nuclear war. Rational choice should be taken into consideration by delegates to prevent mutually assured destruction. Also, they cannot continue to ignore the violent confrontations in the Sino-Indian borders. Many casualties could be prevented if they manage to act firmly. We will keep you updated on this crisis. Stay tuned and stay safe. This was Telemundo.